got to learn how to treat me.
Amen.
And sometimes you got to walk first. Come on, somebody. You got to walk through something before you know something.
Yes, sir.
And some of y'all want to get there too quick. And when you get there, you ain't ready to handle responsibility yet. Talk to me, somebody. Talk to me, baby. Come on here. You got to walk through the valley.
Yes, sir.
Walk through the valley. I know it's hard sometimes, but walk through the valley.
Right.
I got any walkers in the house?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, what is a valley? What valley could be when you lose a loved one?
Amen.
Valley could be when you go to work and they give you a pink slip. And you have to go clean out your locker. And the security guard walks you to the door. That's a valley. It's a valley when you walk down to the employment and put in for unemployment benefits. That's a valley. Valley, nobody in here like that. Valley is when you, maybe one or two. Valley is when you end up in divorce court. And you look back over your life. All of those years you gave that Negro. And now it don't mean nothing. Preach, Reverend.
Preach.
Valley could just mean you can be young and go through a valley. Valley could mean that you got your heart broken by Charlie. Any Charlies in the house? Preach, Reverend. Valley could be when you got more a month than you got money. Valley could be when the bills are piling up and you don't know how you're going to see your way through. Valley could be when you've been talked about. Call everything but a child of God. But he says something that helps me in it. He said, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death. That helped me. Because the shadow of a gun don't kill nobody. Shadow of a bad dog don't bite nobody. Shadow of a crazy Negro don't hurt nobody. It's a shadow. And you walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
Yeah.
So that brings me to the definition then. What is a valley? What is a valley? A valley is an impression between two mountains, which means that if you find yourself in the valley, it means that you just came off of a mountaintop and you're now in the valley on your way to another mountaintop. So if you just keep on walking, don't park, don't stay, don't get you no hotel room in the valley. Keep on walking. Sooner or later, you're coming out. Somebody say you're coming out. Somebody came to church and God told me to tell you you're coming out. I know you're in a valley, but you're coming out of it, baby. He said, yea, don't walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I fear no evil. That's the way. Now, what person in the English language is best for you? First person, the one talking. Second person is the one being talked to. Third person, we talked about that, is the one being talked about. You can tell which person it is by the pronouns and nouns that's used. The pronouns. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadows of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. He first talking about God. Now he's talking to God. Y'all missed it. Yea, though through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. He talking to him. He letting them know that he know that God is with him. In the green pastures, beside the still waters, getting the soul restored and walking in the path of righteousness, guess what? He's talking about God. Now he's talking to God. And maybe that's some of y'all problem. You've been talking to the mess, talking about the mess, when you ought to be talking it over with God about the mess. Come on, somebody. Just a little talk with Jesus will make everything all right.
Yes, sir.
Somebody will shake somebody's hand and say, tell the Lord about it. Talk to the Lord about it. Talk to the Lord about that child. Talk to the Lord about that husband. Talk to the Lord about your trouble. Talk to the Lord about your valley. Talk to God about it. In the valley. All right, let's go back. In green pastures, lush and plenty and fresh and refreshing, being restored, walking in the path of righteousness, in and up in the valley. Now I want to look at last and closing. Acknowledge your resources while you're in the valley. Don't forget the position of the person, of David. He's not out on the mountaintop. He's still in the valley. Some of y'all are still in the valley. All of us in here is going through some kind of valley. Right now. And God told me to tell you, acknowledge your resources while you're still in the valley. You got some blessing while you're still in the valley. God is so much God. He says in verse 2 that he's so much God and he cares so much about us that he maketh us lie down in green pastures. God said you have a tendency to trot out, run right by your blessing. And God said if I have to knock you down, keep you down, beat your behind, I'm going to see to it that you get blessed. Somebody ought to be shouting right up in there, right? Because some of y'all done ran by your blessing. You haven't learned yet how to be content with where you are. How to be full of joy where you are, while you're going through. You don't wait till you get through the valley. You give God some praise right now while you're in the valley. You're blessed in the valley. What he said? Newstead, what he said? He said, while you're in the valley, he rides, he stabs, he comes in. He said he prepares a table for you in the presence of the enemy. while you're still in the valley, with enemies all around you, haters all around you, God does something for you while you're in the valley. He prepares a 6-course meal in the valley while your enemy is looking on. They said you wouldn't make it. They said you didn't have what it takes. But God blesses you. He calls all of your haters and says, come here and watch me bless her. Watch me bless him. Watch me pick him up and turn him around. Put his feet on solid ground right in front of you. You meant it for evil. But God meant it for good. You said I wouldn't make it, but the Lord is my shepherd. You said I didn't have what it takes, but the Lord is my shepherd. You said I wasn't going to come through it, but God said, I'm your shepherd, Richard. I'm going to see you through it, even while your enemies are looking on, and they can't do nothing to stop you from being blessed. You ought to look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, what God has for you, it's for you, baby. It's for you. Nobody else can get it. It ain't going to the wrong house. God is going to FedEx it right to your house. And when the right time, God is going to bless you. Somebody ought to give God some glory right there. Can't nobody sign for your blessing, baby. It's for you. And you ought to give God some glory right up in here. That's the reason why you're so blessed. That's why you're here this morning. You've been blessed. And you ought to thank God for blessing you in spite of your enemies. You ought to tell your enemies you couldn't stop it, and you can't stop me, because God is on my side. If God be for you, who can be against you? Somebody ought to give him God some glory right there. Hallelujah. I'm a living witness. I was the least to make it in my family. But I had a mama who told me, if you trust God and you keep on working, if you don't give up, if you hold on to God's unchanging hand, God will turn it around, Richard. Amen, somebody. And I remember I had some relatives who were super popular in high school and college, and some of them hardly even speak to me. But God knows. My 2 kids will call you. Now when things go down, they call Richard. Amen, somebody. I've been called to preach funerals for people in Tennessee that didn't hardly speak to me. Amen. But one lady, this child was pretty, y'all. She was finer than fine. Thicker than thick, y'all. She was a coke house. Come on here, y'all. Coke bottle in a brick house. Amen. I went to her father's funeral. I went to her mother's funeral. They asked me to make remarks at both funerals. She dies. I get a call from the family. They said, Richard, Dorsey died. Will you come home? I said, no. No, baby, I ain't gonna make this one. I've been going to everybody's funeral. I ain't going to this one. This happened on Thursday. Saturday rolls around. I get a call this time from her daughter. Daughter said, Richard, I don't even know the girl. That's how close we were. We weren't close. Richard, are you coming home to Mama's funeral? I said, no, baby, you know what I said. I think Mary had been long died. I said, no. I won't say, I don't know. I had it at funeral. For a while, give me a break. Child said, you got to come. Because Mama said, we've been planning Mama's funeral for over a year. Every time we have a planning session, she said, if I die, I don't want nobody to preach my sermon, but my eulogy for Richard. There were two twins in my family, Paul and Silas. They lived here in St. Louis. And had a sister named May Francis. She was the high school queen, both her junior and senior year. I don't know whether high schools do that here, they do it to her twice, consecutive years. And pretty, popular. Every now and then, she might say, "Hey, Richie." And I was quiet. And I want to be known that I was her cousin. They didn't pay me no attention. She messed around and died before I did. Her family called me to preach her funeral. Then the last twin brother died. They called me to preach his funeral. God has a way of turning things around. You know, I'm just telling you like it is. When I go there now, I'm like a celebrity. When I hit town, they know Richard's in the house. Amen. God has a way of reaching way down and picking you up. And then he showcase to show you that he's with. God is good. Somebody ought to give God some glory right now. Now I go places that I don't know sometimes. I was at a place yesterday, and this happened. We were in there. I walked in the place to do some business. And I was doing business with the manager, and this person just kept looking at me. This white lady just kept looking at me. Just kept looking at me. And I started to feel funny. This woman looking at me like that. And finally, she just jumped up out of her seat and said, "Reverend Pearson, you don't know me, do you?" I said, "No, I don't know a lot of white women like that, girl." She jumped up and ran across that office and gave me a hug. And the whole place I thought was going to be out, real faint in the place. And then she told me who she was. And I had to go. God is good. He prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I don't know how many, but I got a few. I've learned to react to my enemies differently. I may not say a whole lot to them, but I still love them. And I learned that love is a lot stronger than hate. If you love them long enough, God will turn them around. Amen, somebody. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'm talking to somebody. There's some people up in here now. And y'all don't like some folks up in here. God told me to tell you, stop hating on them. Start loving them. And watch God do it. Amen. You might be in the choir. Help you. You may think you're being misused. You may think, like David was, you're being overlooked. I got some good news for you. God has not overlooked you. Try this side. They might have overlooked you. All right. But God has not overlooked you. God sees. What you do is just keep on serving God. Because Jesus said that it's only your reasonable service anyhow.
uses us because we're special. God uses us because He's special. You're too caught up on yourself. Amen, somebody.
Amen.
Let's get